Okay, so this is the tutorial for this mitered granny square sweater. The sleeves are a big granny square, and then the rest of it is small. This is also a tangle in tangling called flukes, so it's very cool to incorporate them both. This bag I got from Amazon. It's in my Amazon affiliate under crochet items that I use. I loved it because I was able to pull each yarn that I was using out of the top. It was much easier. What you'll need is a crochet hook that goes with the size yarn you're using, a yarn needle, and a scissors, and then whatever yarn. I used 5 different colors. Here is the magic ring, which is how we're going to start. Now I have a different tutorial for the magic ring, so if you're not familiar with it, go ahead and follow that. If you don't like the magic ring, you're going to go ahead and crochet 4, slip stitch into the first stitch, and that'll create your ring. I like to use this, but it's everybody's preference. So now I'm going to chain 3. Some people chain differently. Now I'm going to wrap around, go into the loop, the magic circle, and I am going to double crochet. So the first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So there's going to be 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So we're going to do this a total of 4 times, and this will create the main middle square. So again, it's 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. And then once we have all of those, I'm going to tighten the magic circle in the center at the end or throughout crocheting. So right now I'm tightening a little bit more before I do my next set of 3 double crochet. So I have a little more control of what I'm holding. And I'm going to do the 3 more double crochet. And then after you do that, you're going to, when you get to your final set of 3 double crochet, now there will be 4 of them total, which is going to create a square shape, right? When you get to the point where you're going to connect them, you're going to go in, and I'll show you here, we're doing the last 3 double crochet, and then you're going to go into the top stitch of the first chain 3, and you're just going to slip stitch into it. So I did chain 2. Now I'm going into that top stitch of the chain 3, and I'm going to slip stitch into that. So bringing the yarn through, pulling it through the other loop. And then right away I'm going to chain 3 again because I have one more row to do of this color. There's only 2 colors that will go all the way around. It's whatever your final color is going to be, the main part of your sweater, and the center one. So you can see I have 4 openings and 4 sections. Now I'm going to turn it backwards. So this is the right side. I'm turning it to the wrong side, and I'm going to go into that first chain space and double crochet 2 double crochet, because the first chain 3 is 1, okay? Now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to put 3 more double crochet into that. So in what we're crocheting into, what we're creating is all corners again. So we're going to double crochet into this chain space 3 times, chain 2, and then double crochet 3 times. I do not put a chain 1 in between them because I think it makes it, I just don't think it looks as nice. So since this is all going to be corners, that's all you're doing for this section, is you are going to make 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Now this is the main center section of the mitered granny square, and then the only other color is whatever your main color of your sweater is going to be, or the outermost edge of the granny square will go all the way around. The rest of these, I'll show you what we're going to do. So again, you're really going to get in the habit of 3 double crochet, And the only time we chain 2 is going to be when we're in a corner. And I like this way. I think the granny square itself looks really nice. And then once we get to the point where we're done and have done all of our double crochets, when we join, we're going to go to the top of the first chain 3. We're going to insert our crochet hook to that top chain 3 space and slip stitch. Okay? So just bring the yarn through both. Now I'm going to pull the yarn through because we're going to change colors. I like to start all of these on the back side, so all the yarn that I'm going to tie in is on the back. And you'll see that. So now I'm bringing in part of the mitered. So now we're only going to do 2 edges. So I put my hook through a corner chain space, bring the yarn through, and when I pull up a loop, I'm pulling up both of those yarn. Okay, so both pieces. Then I'm going to bring one to the back, and now I'm going to chain the other 2. So it's a total of 3. And now I'm going to do 2 more double crochet in that corner. Now, since 2 of these corners are mitered, they're not going to have what a normal corner would. We're going to go to the next chain space right here, and we're going to do 3 double crochet into that. The only corners while we do the mitered parts, there's only going to be one corner where we're going to do the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. The rest, the other 2 corners are going to be different, right? Because we're making a mitered corner. So now we're going into the main corner, and this is where we're going to do our 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Then we're going to go back to the chain spaces again and just do 3 double crochet. And I'll walk you through a little bit of this until we get used to the mitered square. And so here is the corner. Now we're going to the next chain space, and we're going to do 3 double crochet. So you're going to wrap the yarn and do your 3 double crochets. And when we get to the end of this, this is where you're going to see how we've got one more chain space. We bring it all together. So here we're going to do the 3 double crochet. Now, right here, we're going to stop, chain 3, and turn your work. So now we're facing in the other direction. Now you can see the chain space is a little far away. We're going to go ahead and double crochet 3 times in that chain space. And we're creating a pattern with this. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochet in the next chain space again. We're going to do the main corner like we do a normal granny square, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and here we are. And then the other chain spaces, except for the last one, it's going to change every now and then, which is why I want to walk you through it, is where you're just going to see what you have. You're either going to have a full chain space or you're going to have the top of the original chain 3. So there's our corner. You can see we're starting to make this mitered corner. Very exciting. So we'll speed it up. Now I'm at the end. So there's no chain space here. So I want to go into the top of that chain 3, double crochet, chain 1. And the only reason I'm chaining 1 is because I'm going to pull the yarn through. Okay? And I like all the yarn on the back, so then I'm just keeping it in one place. Now I'm going to bring in another color, and I'm going to go through that chain space that we have. I'm going to bring both pieces of the yarn through, letting the tail of it come towards the back. So I've already done chain 1. Now I'm going to do chain 2. It's a great way for me, I think, to make this work. So now the chain space is right here. So we only need to do 2 more double crochet on this one. And then we're going to go do how we do the rest of it, right? Which every chain space is going to have 3 double crochet, The corner is going to be as the normal corner, and when we get to the end, if it's got a chain space, you're going to go ahead and do the 3 double crochet. So here we don't have that, so I'm showing this a little bit more. I'm going to do a double crochet in the top of the first chain 3. And then I'm going to pull up a loop because we're going to start the next color. And so if you don't see a chain space in this mitered corner, then that means you're going to put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3. But this is how it's looking. So now we're going to add our next color. And then the color after that will be a color that will go all the way around. And this is how you make all of your mitered granny squares, which is also the Tangle Flukes, if you tangle with me as well. So again, I'm bringing the yarn in, and for that first chain, I bring both of the yarn, and then I chain 2 more. Now there's a chain space here, so I can do all 3 of the double crochet, but really it's 2 because that chain 3 counts as 1, okay? And now we're gonna go all the way around like normal for 2 rounds. So everything is 2 rounds except for the color that you're going to end with. So the green was 2 rounds, the lime green was 2 rounds, the reddish pink color is 2 rounds, and then the pink is 2 rounds. And then when we do the white all the way around, that we'll just do once, because that's going to be the bulk of the sweater. We don't really need to go around each of them more than once. So this is going to be a 2-parter because it's too long to add the rest of it. So we'll just keep this as this, right? So again, we're going to double crochet in the top of the chain 3 space. We're going to pull that yarn through, and we're going to start the final color. Here's what it looks like so far. And now I'm using like this cream color on the outside, and that is going to go all the way around. This time I'm going to start at the front because this is the front, okay? I'm not going to go backwards. The reason I started the back with the other ones is because they would end up at the front. This one is going to start and end in the front because we're only doing 1 row. So I'm bringing up the tail and the main yarn for a chain 1, letting go of that tail, and then chaining 2 more. Now this, we can do the full corner right now. So that's 1 double crochet, that chain 3. So I'm going to do 2 more double crochet in this corner. And then I'm going to chain 2 because I'm just doing a normal granny square. And then I'm going to double crochet 3 more. Sorry about that. Double crochet 3 more. So this is a corner. So the rest of these spaces are going to be 3 double crochet. Remember, it's up to you, but I am not a fan of having extra chaining in the spaces, in between the spaces. I just don't like the look. So now I'm in another corner. So we're going to 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then each chain space is 3 double crochet. And this is how we finish the whole square. When you get to the end of the white where you're going to join it, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to slip stitch in the top of that first chain 3 space, and you're going to pull up a loop and cut that yarn and bring it through. Now, how many of these squares do you need? I took a regular sweater that I have, and I measured it, and I figured based on the size of the granny square, for everyone it's going to be different. I figured out how many, and I kept that sweater out, and I would put the granny squares along the back and the front. Now for the sleeves, I did a large granny square for each arm. Now, when I tie in these ends, I take one of the So like right now I'm doing the dark green. So I'm taking one of the dark green with the yarn needle and I'm bringing it over to the other one and I'm going to tie a knot. And I do this twice. It just brings them together, it secures it, and then I put both of them into the yarn needle and sew them around the center part. And I do this for all of the colors. I bring one of the same colors over to the other one, tie it, and then pull them through. Now you have your mitered granny square. What I love about this is it's just really unique. You can mix lots of different colors with it. It looks really cool. I'm going to have a part 2 to this video of how I put the sweater together, but this is just about how to create that. Now, this is the sleeve, which I made a large version of that granny square. And right now I'm blocking it, and those are the blocking pins that I use. They're also in my Amazon affiliate, as well as this blocking like wooden station thing, which I found on Amazon as well. My granny squares are 6 by 6, so I like to measure it, make sure that it's correct where I've put all these little steel posts. And I put the first granny square down, spritz it with a little bit of water, and then I stack them and spray them one at a time. This to me is very satisfying blocking. I love it. It also makes it a lot easier when you go to stitch your granny squares together if you know that they're all the same size. So using blocking is a great method to help that happen. But I do love this because you can put it in the stand to the right, which I'll show you in a minute, and stand it up to dry. They dry really fast because I'm only spritzing a very small amount of water in between each one. Enough that's going to allow it to keep the shape is really the only reason I'm doing it. I block everything that I make. I think it's super important. I think it really helps with the structure of whatever you're crocheting. I think it's a very important step. And I also love doing it, especially now that I found this little wooden blocking set. So this is me speeding up all the crochet granny squares that I have. For this sweater, there'll be a part 2. I have 12 on the back panel. I have 4 on the right side and 4 on the left side in the front. And then the 2 arm granny squares are just one large granny square, which I really like the look of. So this is once they're all stacked, and there's one of the large arm ones drying, but see how you can stand it up, and then the next morning they were all dry. So then I was able to take them off and stack them nicely. And so this is just a step that's going to help you with the other steps. I'll have a part 2 to this sweater as soon as I can get it complete. This is putting the pieces kind of where they're going to go. But thank you so much for seeing my tangle turn into crochet. Don't forget to subscribe. I can't wait to see you on the part 2. Watch my other videos.